the crossarm attachment. Now you'll notice in this pull shot we have two crossarms. Both are dead ending. The lower crossarm continues on through, and the primaries are a lower value going through. The ones coming from the north are 556s, and the ones going south are 336s. You'll also notice on that same crossarm that we have three primary fuses, and those lines are anchored. The top primary is dead end, and they are anchored as well. So then we will go to the attachments tab, and we'll see that everything is past their green cells except for a crossarm and an insulator configuration in the top primary. That top primary can be accessed from either the crossarms or the insulators, or on its own there, as you see the top primary attachment. Let's go into the crossarm. Oh, before we do, you'll notice the attachment's badge value is red, and that's because we need to pass all these before it goes green. So the first thing you'll notice is we can set the number of members, 2 or 1. We have a composition segment control, and it's blank by default. You can choose wood or metal. You'll notice that the bolt configuration changes when we choose metal in the picture and in the segment control. By default, the metals are 2-bolt, but you can switch those afterwards. Next thing we'll do is we'll rotate the crossarm to the way we want it, which in this case is the opposite. So if you hold the imagery screen for a second, it goes into the routine. You can choose any of these preset positions, or if you double click, it allows you to get the degree you want. Let's go back and choose the opposite position. Accept. You'll see everything reconfigure. Now you'll notice that they are still going to the insulators. In real life, we have no insulators, they just dead end. So we'll just select dead end. Now if we had selected one of those primaries first and then chosen through or dead end, it only affects the one that is selected. If none are selected, everything is affected by all attributes. You'll notice at the bottom we have several attributes: is anchored, is slack, is bonded, has an inline switch or the dip, and then the final value there has switch pull, is for the crossarm itself. And then we have a conductor gauge, but you won't need to change that very often because they are populated from the attached pole that we already surveyed. So, and that's how we got the lines in the first place. We didn't actually have to place them. They came from the adjacent pole that we already surveyed. So this center line is its position changes. So we select it and we hit reconfigure, the blue button there, and we cycle through until we get what we want. In this case, it is the center position. So we'll accept. And the only thing we have left to do now is enter the heights. I usually do that separately. With a tripod, I go through and I do all the pulls in one sweep. Now if we were to save it just as it is, you'll see that it has a green check mark beside the attachment, but the cell is not green. That's because everything passed except we did not enter those heights. So we can enter, say, let's arbitrarily select 7.1 meters. And you'll notice to the right of it, you'll see a burgundy value of 8.6 meters, because that is your height that you just measured, plus the vertical offset that you determine at the beginning of the pole, or you determine for all of your survey, and you just change it if your vertical offset should change for a pole. And I go into detail about that in another video. But now let's say you had through lines and not dead end lines, you'd have more height fields, but in this case we don't. So top of pole, you can put that in several locations in the survey app, but in this being one of them, so let's just guess and say let's say it's 10.2 plus your 1.5 meter vertical offset. 11.7. And let's save, and it went green. And that's it for the crossarm attachment.